Welcome, lovely people, to a very special Valentine weekend reading. So in my last weekly reading that I put up, I actually showed the process of putting together the different piles for the sort of picker cards, and actually people really enjoyed it. I think it helped them to tune into which pile was right for them. So I'm going to do that again, and there'll be just a brief break when I just sort of line up the cards ready to photograph them. For those that just want to tune in sort of straight away to them, you can sort of fast forward to that bit. But let's just speak a little bit about this reading and the energy that's around as we approach a very stormy weekend again. So here in the UK, for those of you who probably realise from my accent, I'm in the UK. I'm Jenny Florence. Anyone that's returning to my readings, guys, welcome back. It's just awesome to be building such an amazing community. Actually, that community is there because of you. Thank you so much for your likes, shares, and for subscribing, because all of these things help to, especially the subscribership, it helps me to continue to put free stuff into the world, and it helps to maintain the channel. So guys, thank you. You blow me away. Your support of me and your support of one another is just awesome. Anyone new to the channel, welcome. I do a lot of free stuff. I put a lot of free resources into the world. It's all about helping to navigate life from a position of greater awareness, greater empowerment. You'll kind of get the flavour of that if you tune into the readings. So check out the information box. That's the best thing. You'll find out everything is listed there, including how to potentially win a free private reading. I also will be giving away a pack of these cards, probably each month actually during this year. They are about to emerge into the world, but more about that at another time. Let's tune in. Before I draw cards, I want to talk about the incredible energy of the selenite heart and the green aventurine wand. This will be sort of the energy that's governing reading number 1. Selenite is, for me, it's akin to the moon in some ways. It gathers light. If we think about the moon as gathering light from the sun and redistributing it to the earth, selenite has those properties. It's an energy that holds light, brings higher vision, connects us to our crown chakra, or opens the crown chakra, and also connects in with the soul star chakra. So very relevant, I think, to anyone looking for a relationship or looking for illumination within a relationship. Now, green aventurine for me is, it's a wonderful energy. Green aventurine, I always feel when I'm working with it as if someone has wrapped a cloak around my shoulders of just nurture, of healing, of support. It's kind of, there's a real unconditional support around this. I love doing readings when I'm using green aventurine. I feel like I'm bathing in, support is the right word. So very powerful combination for reading number 1. Reading number 2, I was drawn to these 2 pieces of natural flint. Now, I actually found both of these. This one has a particular relevance in that it's very similar in shape to, there's a piece, for anyone that's ever visited St Michael's Mount down in Cornwall in the UK. It's a very special place where 2 major energy lines come into the UK. One is the Michael line and one is the Mary line. And they cross at certain points as they travel from Cornwall right through to East Anglia on the east coast. And wherever they cross, it's known as a kissing point. And halfway up St Michael's Mount, if you didn't know it was there, you might just walk right past it. There is a piece of flint, very similar in shape to this. This is completely natural. No work has been done to it. I found it on a beach. I looked down and it really spoke to me. And so it travels now with me and enters my readings when relevant. This, it's very similar to that heart shape that is about halfway up the pathway, the cobbled pathway to the top of the mount. So it's a little bit of connection with that. Now, this piece of natural flint, also completely natural. I haven't done anything to shape this. This literally came off a gravel pathway. I looked down and there it was. And it was really interesting because in that moment in time, I had quite a big debate going on within me to do with an aspect of relationship. And I glanced down and there it was. It really helped me to become grounded. In that moment, I was able to, it actually grounded me and stopped me in my tracks to the point where I actually gained the clarity that I needed. So a really powerful energy, and I would say energy of, it's kind of like the realness of relationships. So pretty magical combination. But I wanted them to sit together. I really heard that very clearly, alongside an amethyst wand. Now, amethyst is the great protector, the great healer, connects us to great illuminations, great insights, spiritual understanding. Very, very powerful energy to sit with these two pieces of natural flint. And reading number 3 is going to be governed by lemon jasper. Lemon jasper works with the energy of the solar plexus. It's a stone of empowerment. It's a stone of identity, strength, courage. It aligns the physical, the mental and the emotional. So very, very strong. In fact, just holding it, I'm getting a feel of that strong energy. Now, I was called to align it with rose quartz, a rose quartz wand. Rose quartz is universal love. It's interesting because really the message that seems to be coming through is to do with restoring trust, personal empowerment, restoring trust, regaining self-esteem, self-belief. The marvellous thing about rose quartz is that it does restore aspects of relationship with others, but also with ourselves. So if there is some kind of inner healing that needs to take place, this may be bringing you the guidance you need. Or indeed, if there is healing within a relationship or reconciliation, this may be the reading that is speaking to you. But those are the kind of energies. I'm just going to move them slightly out of our way. I'm just going to draw the cards. They've all been shuffled. And then, as I said, I'll pause the video. And we will, okay, so that's for reading 1, that's for reading 2, and that is for reading 3. I'm going to sit these, I'll probably be slightly out of camera, but I want to make sure I don't muddle the order in any way, shape or form while we just draw the other cards. 3 for that one. 3 for that one. I love it when they move around. They really do have a voice of their own. It's that one under there. Excuse me guys if I'm a little quiet while I do this. It's just, you know, if I'm shuffling they tend to fly out, but I actually like using the cards in this way. They're shuffled, they're prepped. Sometimes something will just fly out while I'm shuffling and you know you've just got to go with that card. But you know, at other times it's just really nice to allow them to arrive in some way. And lastly, Okay, Super Souls, so for those of you that have been just sitting with that, I'm just going to move these cards up. I'm going to lay them out, so I'll pause the video for a moment. It'll come back in once these are laid out. Obviously I'll need to take a photograph of them as well, so that you know, it gives people a flavour even as they're, you know, filtering through YouTube to see, you know, which, if there's a reading that's calling to them. So I will see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back to reading number 1, reading number 2 and reading number 3. And awesome people, what I forgot to do was to draw the runes. I'm so busy connecting in with the cards, so we're going to actually draw them now. So just tuning back in to the selenite heart and the green aventurine wand. Okay, we will have 3 runes. Oops, I will try not to bring them out in a way that you can see them. It would be more important if you're tuning into your intuition to just allow yourselves that time and space to do that. You may find more than one reading speaks to you, and you may return to the readings. Sometimes people return to them during the week. Okay, we have 3 here. Just moving them away so you guys can't actually see them as I draw them out. I don't particularly want to look at them myself either, but if they, sometimes it's unavoidable as they come out of the bag. There we go. This one's certainly speaking strongly, very strongly to us. Fascinating. They sometimes, as you put your hand in, sometimes it's just you touch one with the tip of a finger amongst them all and you know that that's the one, and sometimes it's almost as though one will just force itself into your hand. It's fascinating the way they come out. For those of you that are new to the channel as well, I've said I'm going to be doing some live seminars. As a former counsellor of, you know, an accredited counsellor of 26 years, you know, I might do some on building self-esteem, that kind of stuff. But a lot of people have been saying they'd love to learn more about reading cards, reading runes. So watch out for the announcements. And if you want to, you know, keep a lookout for the announcements of I'm going to try and do one live event every month. It's an opportunity, you guys, to obviously connect in and actually ask questions while we're learning about stuff and talking about stuff. As I said, loads of people have been giving me that feedback, and thank you, because I did ask for feedback about what you would like me to do, and learning to read the cards and the runes seems to be right at the top of everybody's list, so I think that's where we're going to be going. I think it's rather nice maybe to do a monthly webinar live that people can tune in with, ask questions, connect in, and yeah, just learn this process. For anyone that follows my readings, you'll know it's not I know there's loads of stuff out there, you know, learn to read tarot in 30 minutes. For me, it's a more in-depth process than that. It's about understanding yourself and how you are in relationship with the cards. But as I said, we'll bring all that into some kind of a monthly live webinar, which I think would be cool. So watch out. I will try and schedule it so that you know when it's going to happen. And we will also try and work it so that we do each month, it's at a different time. So depending on where you are in the world, it should make it fairly accessible. And of course, it'll be recorded, so you'll be able to check in at other times. So wonderful people, tuning into your own intuition. Reading 1. Selenite and green aventurine. Reading 2, extraordinary energy of natural flint and amethyst. And reading number 3, we have rose quartz, pure love, purity of love, and lemon jasper. Again, courage, strength, identity. Very powerful. All of them actually are extraordinarily powerful. I need to say it in different ways. I will just describe this because this may help you work out where you're going with this. This has a strength about it. It's really almost a determination. So maybe relevant if you're needing to hold course in some way or come through something. I don't know, and we have yet to see the cards. This has an earthy energy about it. It's almost like a manifestation. It's sort of making it real. Flavour. Again, we'll have to see what the cards show. This is quite electric. So it's a different energy. There's an anticipation in it. Now, I don't know if that will help. We have yet to turn over the cards and see how that figures. But guys, in the comments, you'll already know that there are timestamps. In the information box, you'll find out information about anything and everything that I do, that I put into the world that's free. So just check it out. And yeah, anybody that is... totally lost my track there. Do you know what? I'm just getting absorbed in the energy of this. I'm going to stop waffling. Oh yeah, I was going to say it's on the screen as well. Anyway, it's on the screen, the time frames of them. I'm just going to stop talking. This is really powerful. Guys, namaste. So much love to you all. And I look forward to seeing you for some of the other readings. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1. Let's look at our runes. We have the rune of disruption. We have the rune of initiation. Wow, this is a reading of transition. We have the rune of wholeness. These are, I'm just going to place them here for one moment and we'll talk through them. The rune of disruption, it's like there's a need to break free from something, or indeed to break into something is what I'm hearing. This feels much more as though you're seeking a breakthrough than needing to break out of something. I'm not saying for some of you it won't involve both. Sometimes breaking through is breaking out, whether it's breaking out of a pattern, a thinking pattern. But one way or the other, you're looking for something. And the rune of initiation is, it tells us that there's it's like a rite of passage. You're going through a phase of transition. This, though, is very interesting. The rune of wholeness. This is the path you must follow. This is your true nature. What I kind of hear is, I think for some of you, you've been involved in relationships that have not really allowed you to walk your true pathway. And so there's been a need to create some shift. It doesn't necessarily mean that a relationship, if you're in one, is dissolving. But if you are single, you are looking for someone who will align with you on your pathway. It's like you've reached that space of illumination. You know it. You know that, compromises are to do. Of course, every relationship involves compromise, but it doesn't involve compromising who we are at a core level of soul. It's like you've reached that space of illumination. For some of you, you're coming to that space of awareness. For some of you, you're already there, and events and circumstances have caused you to see things very clearly. Now let's just see what all our cards are showing up. Okay, well, this is lovely. We have a lovely celebration here. Leadership. I'm enjoying that. So first of all, we have the Hanged Man. Okay, awesome. So you are ready to look at something that has been stuck. And the very fact that you are ready to look at it means that you're ready to move forwards. As long as we are entrenched in something and we can't see the woods for the trees, we can't shift it forwards, we can't do anything, we're running on autopilot. The Hanged Man says, you either see it clearly, something's happened, disruption, something's happened to cause you to see something clearly. There's that need to break free, to move beyond. Could even be a thinking pattern or something within you that's held you back. But your very identification of it creates the energetic shift that allows you to move forwards. It frees you up. Wonderful. We have the card of the Magician, the card of manifestation. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Page of Wands. There's a little bit of astrology I need to connect in with here, because the Magician is connected to Mercury, the winged messenger of the gods. It's the our ability to develop wisdom, insight, awareness, and to communicate it. Now, Mercury is going into retrograde. We are already in the Mercury retrograde shadow. Mercury will go into retrograde on Monday, the 17th, and remain there until about the first week of March, into the first week of March. I think it's about the 10th, actually, possibly. But one way or the other, the rune of disruption shows its face often in a Mercury retrograde. If there is a diversion, trust that it is there to take you a different route. If there is a diversion, it may be because you need to see something clearly, some illumination, some insight is being brought to you, particularly as Mercury is retrograde in Pisces. Neptune is currently in Pisces. I won't talk too much about the astrology, but for anyone that's interested in that, you might want to check out the February energy update that I did. You'll find it on the main channel page if you go through the videos. And next week I plan to do some mid-month energy updates. I'm not sure yet whether to just do one big one or one for each sign, but powerful stuff this month. So, this is the card of manifestation. Enough of astrology. You're ready to look at something. You've either seen something clearly, or I'm going to say something is going to happen to cause you to see something clearly. But it shifts the energy. This has got this electric anticipation about it. You are ready to move on. The Six of Wands is magic because it's a card of victory. It's a card of validation, recognition, acknowledgement, and that acknowledgement is not only on the inside, it's on the outside. People see that shift in you. The Page of Wands is interesting because this is either renewed vitality within you, or it's actually someone coming into you, someone coming into your world who lights your fire, ignites that spark. The chemistry is there. You know, really, really powerful. And it's interesting because we have this other card, Three of Cups. This is a celebration in relationship. So pretty magical here. Now, we then have the card of the Self, and we have the Six of Water. Now, the card of the Self, this card asks you to kind of free yourself from any labels that you've, I don't know, you were brought up believing you had to wear. We all have them, don't we? We all feel like we have to carry roles, wear different hats. It asks you to really, truly trust and be your authentic self. Again, initiation, rune of wholeness. It's the path you must follow. There comes a point in life, as I said, compromise is kind of, where are we going to go for dinner? Or, do we go to the theatre, or do we go to, I don't know, a football match? What do we want to do? How do we navigate and negotiate the things that we both love, and how we support one another in those things? Compromise is not, I have to be someone else in order to please you. At a level of soul, at a level of value, your core values, okay? So there's something very powerful, I want to say, at stake here, but it's about you being you. You are really ready to look at this. And for some of you, if you have been tangled with someone who was trying to confine you or get you to compromise in some way that was not about being authentically you, this is an indication, a time to be moving and freeing yourself from that, the disruption. But it's all about finding yourself, discovering yourself, and therefore being available to fully engage within relationship for the person that you are. This is lovely. This is the celebration of relationship, and it's the celebration of the first stage of relationship. So either some of you are navigating the initial stages of something and you're about to move into a space where that kind of gets consolidated, or if you are searching for a soulmate, there are certain things you can't compromise on, and actually that's fantastic. Don't wobble from that pathway, because it's being your authentic self that is going to bring in what you need. This is a card of compassion. Okay, so we have Six of Water, but it's also an offer. So it's lovely. I feel as though, there is either someone, again, comes into your world that really floats your boat, really ignites your passions, or or you are needing to view, what I'm hearing, you're needing to view yourselves with compassion. There's been some self-criticism for some of you, and it's almost as though energetically it's held you back. And that's what you're beginning to recognise, that somehow within that space of self-criticism you've actually limited your own horizons. It's this sort of aspect of self-doubt. It shows itself so often in relationships. It's just how it is. It's who we are. Now, this is lovely. We have Take Time Out, the Bigger Picture and Leadership. 3 lovely, very illuminating, powerful cards. Take time out, give yourself permission to stop. Sometimes we just need to slow down and rest up. I need to just interrupt myself because I'm hearing a really clear message coming through with this card of compassion and of offering. It's not just to do with self-criticism, it's to do with feeling like you're trying to make it happen and striving, and then feeling as though there must be something wrong with you because it's not happening. Totally not the case. The only thing that needs to be let go of is that thinking, that particular pattern of thinking. Be you. Be your amazing self. So, give yourself permission to stop. Sometimes we just need to slow down and rest up. And yet so often we keep on pushing and pushing, even though there are clear signs that we should stop. Taking time out now will allow you to replenish your energy and to return revitalized and with an abundance of focused energy. And again, see the bigger picture. Sometimes, particularly during times of accelerated growth, we feel confused and overwhelmed, unable to see the woods for the trees. You may even find something comes to disrupt that and cause you to have to stop. Yeah, that's how we work with the incoming energy, the Mercury retrograde kind of stuff. It's how we start to attune ourselves with the universal energy and work with it rather than feeling thrown by it. This card asks you to stand back and see the bigger picture. Everything is happening just as it should, and you will soon regain clarity. Leadership. This is to do with yourself, authenticity. We all lead by example. Our words and actions presenting a role model to everyone that we come into contact with. This card asks you to take an ownership of your personal leadership qualities and to align your thoughts, words and actions with everything that you wish to see in the world. Being your authentic self, walking that pathway, that is how you're going to draw into you someone who is going to align with you with a level of passion, desire, stuff that, because you both believe in the same stuff, your core values are the same. I feel that this is an exciting time of transition for you guys. It will be obviously different for each of you in slightly different ways, but there are some very clear messages here, and I love that we conclude with this this card of celebration. So for me, I'm seeing you come through this. You're ready for this transformation, and it's this energetic shift that brings about that possibility for you. Guys, last check-in really is all of the cards that I use are listed on, and the runes are listed on a page on my website. The link is below. If there are any that are really leaping out and you'd love to use them yourselves, you should be able to find them. There's a couple of new packs I've got that aren't yet on there, but I will get them up. These big cards aren't yet on there, but they will be up very, very soon. Try and get that done in the next week. And the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, for those of you who are following their birthing into the world, I'd hoped that they would be emerging in January. There is now a mailing list you can connect to. If you're on it, you will get a notification as soon as there is a definite time for their release, and there will also be an opportunity to reserve a pack because it's a limited edition print, the first run. You will have the opportunity to reserve a pack and also to pre-order at a discounted rate. So guys, so much love to you. I'm pretty excited. I can see why there's so much anticipation here, but also this wonderful green Aventurin energy of nurture around you. It's like, actually, yeah, nurture yourself. Yeah, trust. Allow yourself to be you. This is like the emergence of you in a whole new space of readiness to manifest a relationship that is truly, truly in alignment with who you really are. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. Let's look at our runes. We have the rune of joy. We have the rune of gateway. This is magical. And we have the rune of the blank rune, the rune of infinite possibilities. This is very powerful already. The rune of joy, out of darkness into light, carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. There is evaluation needed here. The rune of gateway is an invitation to review, to pause, to cast your mind back over everything that you have ever experienced and to lean into the learning of that. I love to bring in gratitude and appreciation for the learning with this rune because it really opens up possibilities, new horizons. Very powerful start to the reading, guys. What do we have? This is really fascinating. So this card is in the pack, in this particular pack. Now I have a couple of new packs I'm working with. For those of you that already follow my readings, you'll know on my website there is a page where I list all the cards, so if there's any you want to connect to, you'll find them for yourself. In the pack, this new pack, there's several cards that are just illustrations. They're not actually part of the tarot, but they're illustrations by the artist, and they bring in a whole new dimension. I'm always fascinated when they come through into a reading. Well, we have choice, heaven and earth, synchronicity. This is curious. It's in reverse. We're going to stick with that. It's interesting. And we have the card of justice. Okay. There is an evaluation here going on. You're needing to make a choice, or you've had to make a choice. The card of justice it's like a reckoning. It's got a very specific flavour of choice about it. These are really curious cards as well. Take action now, release the past, synchronicity. This is a very dynamic reading. So let's start first of all with justice. Make sure it's still in camera. Right, so the card of justice. You're weighing things up, you're making decisions. Seven of Cups, again, is about making decisions, and it's about making decisions in relationship. It's about choices, having more than one choice available to you. And you're needing to weigh things up. Again, rune of gateway, evaluation. I want to say take your time in the evaluation process. You are needing to take some action. Now there's choices available to you, but what I'm hearing is it's a difficult choice. It's like you're not quite sure which way to go. Whatever choice you make, it does lead to a new beginning. There are new opportunities. In fact, I'm going to say, I think for some of you there may be a conflict between. It's like a conflict. It's almost like a conflict between work and personal life, or I think there are some choices available to you that could steer your life in a particular direction, but there are implications, and I think you're really unsure of which direction to go in. But we have the Ten of Swords. This is coming out of that situation. This is finding resolution, overcoming our demons. It's like coming out of a conflict, out the other side with a clarity. It's like we've sifted through stuff. Again, joy, out of darkness into light. There is a letting go, though. You have to let go of something in order to move forwards. You are facing choices, and these choices they have very big implications in terms of relationship. This is a relationship reading, or they are all relationship readings. These are matters of the heart. This is very interesting because I think some of you are struggling with a separation of some sort. It may also be for some of you that you're letting go of, and this is what I'm hearing. It's like you're letting go of, I want to almost say like an illusion. And it's not, like when we have childhood dreams, it's like, I'm going to be an astronaut, or I'm going to, it's like there's an adjustment. That's why we have the Ace of Pentacles particularly as well. There's an adjustment to connecting in with a relationship in a really earthy way, a really grounded way. It's like this evaluation and making choices that allow you to have the things that really matter to you. That's the evaluation that's going on, and that is out of darkness into light. There's been confusion or a conflict of interests, and for some of you the conflict of interests is actually within you. For some people it's connected to someone else or to choices and different people's attitudes, but actually the greatest space of choice is within. And I think you do know that you need to make a choice, and there are implications in your long-term future. Something sort of has to be let go of, whether it's an avenue that was very ambitious but would have detracted from your personal life, or whether it's letting go of someone who has in some way held you back, or it's more to do, the holding you back doesn't feel quite right. It's more about, this is much more about what you're stepping into, but you're needing to let something go in order to step into it, if that makes sense. And there's quite a powerful message of really work out what it is that you truly want. What do you really, really want from life, from a relationship? I mean, in a way, the card of choice is a bit like the card of the Fool. It's the very first card in the major arcana in this particular pack. Take action now. Release the past and synchronicity. There's a bit of trust involved here in terms of slightly launching yourselves into the unknown. Because whichever way you go, I think there's a little bit of anxiety about making the right decision. But Heaven and Earth is a lovely card of manifestation. It's about magic, but it's also about the mundane, the ordinary. It's about, again, recognizing what really matters, looking for the signs, the guidance that the universe brings in the little things that are around us, the little things we notice, like walking on a gravel pathway, looking down. See, this is so tuned into, I knew this flint had to come into this reading. I was drawn to this to start with because there's so much power in this one, but I knew this one had to come in. It was that moment of I had choices to make and I wasn't sure which way to go. By the time I'd stopped, paused, gazed at the wonder of the ordinariness of a gravel path, and been gifted this extraordinary little stone, which brings such a powerful message. It's really funny, the hairs on my body are standing on end as I'm talking. It's really, the temperature has just dropped in here, which happens when I think people are around us who are guiding. Wow, I mean, I can't describe how powerful that is. Every hair on my body is standing on end. It's the ordinariness, the standing still in that moment, and the answer became so clear. Working out what it is you really desire. This is what creates this new opportunity, but it's to do with what really matters to you. Take action now. This is a clear and unequivocal message that action on your part is needed now. Manifestation is not simply a process of visioning in and dreaming about your desires. When an opportunity is offered to you, right, you must also take action. Pay attention to the signs and move forwards fearlessly. Release the past. Releasing the past does not mean that we forget, nor does it mean that if something bad happens, that this was okay. It means that we make a personal choice to no longer allow our history to dictate and shape our future. To dictate and shape our life, both now in our present time and in our future. This is the rune of Gateway. This is the card of justice, the evaluation, the weighing up. Also, again, clear message, recognizing the difference between the feelings as we move into something new and we make a choice, we take a risk. I think for some of you, you're literally, an offer is made to you, you need to take action, but there's some reticence in you, a little bit of fear that connects to the past, and yet signs are being shown to you. This is the letting go, it's of the child. I'm just going to show you this image a little closer up. this is almost like childhood fears that have to be let go of, insecurities, patterns of behaviour, thinking that has held us back or drawn us into inappropriate relationships. Magical energy, just being reminded of this, connecting in the rune of joy, out of darkness into light. We have to release the past. We do have to step forwards. Synchronicity are seemingly random coincidences showing up in your life. This card asks you to listen to the signs and take them seriously. You are tuning into the universal energy of a greater collective consciousness, and these synchronicities are arriving in your world to guide you. Listen. And this is why this beautiful piece of flint came into this reading. Listen. There are infinite opportunities available to you, and obviously this is a relationship reading. There is a new beginning. You do overcome something here. It's kind of what I almost want to say, take that risk. You know, don't be afraid to take that risk. There's something around the energy of this. Ground yourself. Don't be worried about making the wrong choice. I feel as though the way will be shown for you guys. Very lovely energy here. And of course, we have the empowerment. I say empowerment, but you know, amethyst, it alleviates stress, it heightens our intuition, our psychic abilities. It's a profound healer. And actually, when I was connecting in with this, when I first drew it, I also heard a message of needing to overcome disappointment. People who've disappointed you. Disappointment is an emotion that is actually a great gift. Disappointment, it's like it's an opportunity to put the brakes on and reevaluate. Creating possibilities and choices that are in line with us and are appropriate for us. If we see disappointment as a derailer, as a sort of, gosh, it always happens to me, everything's going wrong, we remain stuck. But if we understand disappointment as a gift, it helps us to evaluate so that we move forwards with illumination, insight, awareness, and that creates empowerment. Awesome reading, guys. So much love to you. Just connecting in anyone who's been following the Art of Manifestation cards, the birth of them into the world. There is a mailing list that you can join that will allow you to, well, firstly, it means you get updated as soon as we know when the launch date is. You will also get to reserve a pack because it is a first limited edition run. You will get to reserve a pack, or have the opportunity to if you wish, and also pre-order at a discounted rate. So just watch out for the announcement on that. As and when they come, you know, guys, I will make an announcement, but there is a list, and the link is below, and there should be a little label on the screen as well, if that's of interest to you. Namaste, and so much love to you guys. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the rune of signals. Very relevant as we're heading into Mercury retrograde. We have the rune of movement, the bettering of any situation, and we have the rune of separation. Very powerful connection here with these. So the rune of signals, synchronicities, signs, signals. Be alert, be aware of, I almost want to say introductions is coming through. Be aware of introductions, be aware, especially connecting in with the Mercury retrograde energy. Mercury goes retrograde on Monday. In Pisces, a lot of illumination, a lot of insights going on, I think, over the next kind of few weeks. Now, if there is a diversion and interruption, it's, let's say that the universe is showing you a different direction or needing to take you on a detour. You might meet someone. It's kind of like, be very alert and pay attention to little details. If you're not usually noticing things or you're busy, slow down enough to notice. You might be missing something important. Movement, new beginnings, the bettering of any situation, the flow of beings. Both of these runes are the flow into something. The rune of separation suggests that you've outgrown, sometimes it's a situation, a person, or something. Sometimes it literally means you're moving house. So it's the letting go of something. We associate it with real property, but It's basically you're moving into a new phase of life. You're shedding, it's like a snake shedding its skin. You've outgrown something and you're moving into something new. Bettering of any situation. Feels like the synchronicities, the signals from the universe are very much around you. Yeah, things are moving forwards. We have the Chariot. Okay, this is interesting because this is a card of potential jealousy. I'm now very intrigued. Trust the universe. Difficult emotions don't wobble. What else do we have? This is very interesting. Now, these two cards were kind of coming out in reverse, but what I'm hearing is there's a very clear message with them. This is a reading of self-care in some way as well. And we have Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Now the sevens are all about moving something forwards. We have two Seven of Pentacles here. They're about moving something forwards, but you're needing to move something forwards carefully. Okay, so I want to say this is a relationship reading, but have some of you been involved in a relationship with someone who's been jealous, possessive, trying to hold you back in some way? There's competition around, and the energy of that competition there's something around you that's causing you to, I want to say, to have difficult emotions, and this creates a wobble in some way. Let's pull all these cards into place and we'll really tune into this. Whatever situation you are in, this reading would suggest it moves forwards, but you need to be the instigator of it. There is an element of jealousy or possessiveness around. Now, either you've come out of a relationship and it's left you feeling a little bit protective of yourself. Okay, so let's just tune in for one moment. I want to tune in with the lemon jasper. I actually wrote some notes about this. I'm just going to pull them up because I tend to talk fairly briefly about lemon jasper or about any of the qualities here, but I actually want to connect in with those notes because, you see, it's this combination. What I tuned in with when I was preparing for the readings, it was connected to self-esteem, it was connected to your sense of identity, your solar plexus, your centre of power, personal power. Now, lemon jasper is a stone of strength, of courage. It helps to align us physically, mentally, emotionally. Rose quartz, it's universal love. But something that came through was this restoration of trust. When I always sort of meditate a bit and see which crystals, or sometimes it's trees, sometimes it's star signs, it's all sorts of things. If you're following my readings, you'll know with the weekly readings particularly, I tend to meditate and see what I'm drawn to that kind of brings this sort of governing energy into the reading. Remember, rose quartz is restorative. It restores trust, it restores balance, it restores faith. I think you've either come out of there's different messages, and obviously it's a generic reading. It's going to impact on you guys in different ways. It's as though some of you I think you've had a bad experience where someone has really restricted you. They've been jealous, they've been possessive. And for some of you, I think you've literally had to leave by the back door. You've had to come out of a situation in quite a challenging way. These things leave their mark. There's a sadness around. And this is the need to restore trust. It's why you are shedding this skin. You've outgrown that space of retreat. And I think you're ready to move forwards. But there's anxiety around moving forwards. Now, again, for those of you that know me and follow my readings, you'll know I put a lot of free stuff into the world. I have a whole library. It's the A to Z of emotional health. That's www.az emotionalhealth.com, depending on whether you're English or American or wherever you're coming from in the world. In that library, and I think it's the Psychology of Emotion pages, you'll find a wealth of stuff to support empowerment and growth. And it's completely free, by the way. It's a membership library to protect my material, but it is completely free and always will be. So no strings attached. But in that section of the library, there are 2 audios. I think I created them about 2014. When I was working with a series of people in my counselling practice who were moving forwards and experiencing the real challenging emotions that come up in these sorts of transitions and in processing stuff after the event as well. One of those audios is called The Wobble of Change, and the other is called The Sadness of Moving Forwards. And they just explain why we feel the way we feel. When you understand your emotions, they become a source of empowerment rather than feeling as though we're going back because we think we've come out of something and we don't understand why we're feeling that way. This is a reading of healing. It's also a reading of promise, of the new. We have 7, so it's 1 7 of Pentacles, 1 5 of Pentacles. I think I said 2 7s earlier. We don't. We have 2 7, a 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. This is a moving through something and moving beyond something. But as I said, for me, this is more where you've come from. Something has left its mark. Okay? And it's as though you are... So self-care needs to be big on your agenda. The Queen of Pentacles... she knows how to look after herself. She's grounded. She's sensual. She's, self-protection, self-preservation, keeping her boundaries strong. You know, she knows how to nurture herself, and she understands that nurturing herself is the formula, if you like, to having a healthy life and drawing into her life healthy people. Whatever you've come through, if any of you are still struggling with this, if there's some energy of someone around, because there is a little flavour of that. For some of you, you've already come through it and you're dealing with the aftermath, where you're needing to process the experience because you're ready to move on. You want to move forwards. It's a relationship reading. For others, maybe there's still somebody kind of still trying to hang on or still causing a problem. Or maybe even for some of you, the conflict is within, that you've struggled with your own jealousy and your own kind of rage. And that's been blocking you from being able to really connect and have a flourishing relationship and to thrive. The energy is with you to move through this. Signals, signs, be alert, be aware. There's opportunity to move forwards, new beginnings, new opportunities. This is the bettering of any situation. The rune of movement sometimes speaks of unexpected moves forwards, unexpected stuff that moves us forwards, but we didn't see it coming. So, and other times it's just a gradual emergence of something. This rune of separation, I think, is really giving us a powerful message because we are being asked to process something that needs to be let go of. Now, it could be the residue. For some of you, it could actually be somebody who has been a problem for you. For some of you, it's the residue of something, and for others it's actually something within you that causes you to be jealous or causes you to have those really challenging emotions. However we look at it, learning about your emotions is key here. It's a source of empowerment. And we have the 3 of air here. The 3 of air is a card that really, it's about expanding your horizons, expanding your mind, learning, reading books, understanding that every experience we get actually contributes to the person that we can become. But it doesn't mean we remain in a situation that's not okay, or that we allow a situation from the past to continue to hold us back. It's like we lean into the learning and we move on. Difficult emotions. This card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. This is the source of your empowerment. And wonderful, connecting into that lemon jasper, solar plexus, identity and personal empowerment, a stone of strength and courage. Don't wobble. Are you having a wobble? Whether a minor one or a major one, this is completely understandable. You are facing tough choices, but deep inside yourself, you know what you need to do. This card is here to validate your deeper knowing and the decisions that you are making. As you move forwards, your anxiety will ease and you will refine your balance. Trust the universe. Sometimes we can strive relentlessly to make something happen and then experience huge disappointment when our efforts do not work out. Whilst action on our part is required, if we are too determined to stay on one course only, we inadvertently block ourselves from the guidance and direction that the universe is trying to bring to us. This is a time to trust and let things happen. Yeah, there's something you're needing to flow through something. The Chariot comes as an opportunity for things to move forwards. The rune of movement and the rune of separation, shedding your skin and moving into a bigger, better, newer version of you. This is all about moving forwards and processing something that it's come within relationship and it's had an impact within relationship. And now is the time to heal, to move beyond it, to restore, whether this is restoration in your relationship with yourself or, maybe if you're the jealous person, restoration in your relationship with someone else, recognizing that, that can be processed. You can learn, you can grow, you can move forwards. The universe is certainly offering you signs, signals, and support in this process. That is for sure. I see there's anxiety around. That's really clear. There's a fear that if you acknowledge something, somehow it might be challenging. For some of you, it is a fear if you own your own feelings, your insecurities. And for others, there's also a guardedness, because actually a previous experience has really, justifiably, it's caused you to feel concerned and to feel fearful. But it's really time to process this, to learn, to consolidate, not to wobble, stay on your pathway and trust that the universe is actually genuinely supporting you. It's like, I really want to say the universe has your back. Wonderful people. So much love to you. For anyone who is following the launch of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, there is now a mailing list that you can join. It will let you know. I'd hope they'd be birthing in January into the world, launching themselves, and they've not. But there is an email list you can put yourselves on if you wish to be notified as soon as we have definite dates. It shouldn't be long now. And if you're on that list, you'll also have an opportunity to reserve a pack, because they are a limited edition, a first limited edition print, so numbers are limited. And you'll also be able to potentially, if you wish, pre-order at a discounted rate. Namaste, so much love to you.